Peace.
Peace.
This is Joshua Miller Law, Mr. PhD. You're just now entering the cipher called Real2reel360. KYs.
Peace, God.
Bring that beat in, kid.
Indeed.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, party people? Welcome to the Real2reel360 show. Let's get it in. We do the knowledge and wisdom so you can understand. Real2reel360 shows in full command. We changing the game for how it all was taught. From bondage to freedom to an independent thought. Yo, the show is here to bring about a change for real. To lighten everyone so we all know the deal. 360 degrees is a fact. We created the show to give our love back to our communities so we can know what's going on and give them the support from knowledge to porn. So if you're ready to learn, then it's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show. Peace.
Peace and blessings to Allah's mighty 5% nation, the gods and earth, to all the human families on the planet Earth. I bid you love, peace, and happiness. High salute. I am DJ KY's Allah, aka Kato, the Black Superhero. Welcome to Real2reel360. All right, listen, sit back, relax, take notes, because we got a dynamic guest in the house tonight with us. But without further ado, I'm gonna bring on my co-host with the most, none other than my brother in God, Mr. God himself. Let's get him.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Sure enough.
But who am I?
Joshua Miller Law.
Who am I?
Joshua Miller Law.
I can't hear you.
Joshua Miller Law, Mr. PhD.
You at G? You on mute.
Peace.
Peace. What's good?
Oh, man. Peace to all our followers, likers, and subscribers. Thank you for tuning in to Real2reel360. Definitely going to be a great show today. Thank you for chiming in. You know what I mean? So, but ladies and gentlemen, let's get our hands together for our brother that's coming on right now, OG Sweets. Let's get it.
Get it. Brother OG, what's good? Brother Sweets.
Hey, bless, brother. I can't complain. Everything is wonderful. I can't complain.
Oh, good. Glad to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm honored.
Hey, just sit back, relax, man. You home, bro. You home. We can get ready to just make it do what it do.
I could tell. Spirit recognize spirit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Peace, brother. Hey, OG Sweets, can you go ahead and give our followers and likers and subscribers a little tidbit of who OG Sweets is?
OG Sweets is a cat, man. I've been in the industry for over 38 years.
Can you hear me, Kay? Because I can't hear nobody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I hear him speaking. He's speaking.
Can you hear me, guys?
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, you got me?
All right.
I've been in the industry
Definitely.
for
Can brother OG Sweet, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was already building when you asked him the question. He was already adding on.
I couldn't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
Okay. Both of you guys can hear me?
Yeah, both of us can hear you. I'm
Okay.
sorry about that.
No problem. Nothing but technical difficulties. No issue.
No issue.
I've been in the industry for over 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
I started hip hop when I was 15. I remember listening to Sugar Hill Gang in my grandmother's house at 15. And I said to myself, I can do this. I like this. I can do this, you know? Mm-hmm. And New York was an inspiration to me because at the time, Atlanta didn't have a hip hop base.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything we was listening to was coming from out of New York. And by the time the music industry hit Atlanta, there was a guy here, the first rapper
This is Joshua Miller Law.
in Atlanta.
You're just now entering the cipher called Real2reel360.
I'm hearing background. I'm hearing the show.
I am too.
What's going on, party
So,
people?
I don't know what that's
Welcome
about.
to the Real 360 show. Let's get it in. We do
I don't know.
knowledge and wisdom so you can understand. Real 360 shows and full command.
Something's going on here with the technical difficulties.
It's okay, brother.
We
It's fine.
definitely apologize for everything that's going on right now because this is definitely abnormal. What is going on with that?
That sound like stream, y'all. That's something. That's nothing on our either end.
We still gonna prevail.
Definitely. All right. Sorry about that.
No problem. Like I was saying, the Atlanta industry hadn't even taken off yet. You know, all of the artists or all the music that Atlanta was getting was from New York. And there was an individual who is the first rapper out of Atlanta. I got to give him his props. His name is Mojo. And this was in about 1983. And I was rapping during the time, but Mojo had that radio hit. They knew who he was, but me, local club folks knew who I was. And I continue to just progress, man. You know, there's not an artist in Atlanta that I don't know their struggle because we all grind together.
Now, growing up in Georgia and moving back and forth from Ohio to Georgia, what was that transition like musically for you?
Musically in Ohio, I had done what I could do. Okay. When I came back to Georgia after I left Columbus, I think it was in 91 or 92. I came back to Atlanta to pursue my music career. And that's when I got into the nightclub business, meeting celebrities, you know, rubbing elbows with them, working with them, and just continue to move on.
Now, what was it about Southern Soul that made you want to step into that since you started out rapping?
So we can know what's going on and give them the support.
Here we go.
It's time to go. Sit back and relax and enjoy your show.
Enjoy the show.
What was it about Southern Soul that made you want to step into that since you started out rapping?
To be honest with you, brother, I was thrown into Southern Soul. The song Ellie Mae Jean is a hip hop blues type song. And my brother Cool Ace produced that track. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cool Ace, but Cool Ace and I go back to the Curtis Mayfield days. That's how we met at Curtis Mayfield studio. And we went to New Orleans, shot the video, came out. People love the song. And they was like, hey man, this is a Southern Soul song. So that's how I got, it wasn't meant to be a Southern Soul song. It just happened to roll that way.
Okay. Now, we noticed that there's starting to be a real insurgence of hip hop artists coming into Southern Soul and doing what they call Southern Soul hip hop. What is your thoughts on that?
This is the first I'm hearing of it. I didn't know that.
Yesterday we had on what they have crowned the king of Southern Soul hip hop, which was bad news yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You have individuals like the queen of hip hop, Southern Soul, Ice Doll, and these are individuals who are actually rapping and doing Southern Soul.
Great. I
So
mean, you
it's
can't
starting to
put
become a real big surgence of hip hop artists coming into Southern Soul now. So that's the reason why I was asking, since you started out in hip hop and now you're in Southern Soul, what was your take and how do you feel that the transition between hip hop and Southern Soul can mesh that easy?
Southern soul in hip hop, I feel, is just like country music. It's telling
Hello?
story. And blues, it's telling stories. And if you could tell a story that an individual can relate to or things that they're going through in their lives, yes, it's going to catch on, that I feel.
AK, when we go
Yeah.
ahead and transition into Ellie Mae.
All right, all right. Here it is. This is LMA Jean by the one and only OG Sweets.
Oh, LMA, 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 G. Oh, she's mine. There's December afternoon, one that I'll never forget. Oh, yes, it was. Walking up this road, Hill, Morgan County, Georgia, to be exact. I seen a campfire to the distance, so I thought I'd retire there for the night. Lord, behold, the cold mistletoe. What's this? Before my sight. Coochie, coochie, mama, oh Lord, coochie, coochie, mama. She give and lay up. She give and lay up. Sweets, what is that? When you get something unexpected, something more than what you truly deserve. I could tell she wasn't afraid of me because her body language, it wasn't disturbed. She asked me if I wanted some rabbit stew. I was hungry as hell, so yeah, I obliged. She stood up, I seen her silhouette through the fire, but she was showing me that 38 on her side. She took 2 swigs of cone liquor and spat one of them into the fire. She had a bag of bones, she shook them and chunked them on the ground between her and I. She studied them bones for a minute, looked up at the heavens, then back at me. Sweets, what did she see? Nothing, I reckon. She just wanted to be where I be. She's my hoochie coochie mama. 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 Jean, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, knowing, looking, listening to your style, it's almost I'm not saying like you basically talking over the track. Like it's
Hmm.
just smooth talking. Is that some of the things that you portray in your music?
No, that was just for this song. See, what a lot of people don't understand, I let the track tell me what it want to say. I write nothing before I hear a track. I'll listen to that track over and over and over again and write to that track.
Hmm.
I don't write anything down on paper. My wife gets so mad. You need to write this stuff down. It's all in my head.
Hmm.
And I'm the type of cat, man, you can't put me in a box. I love music,
Right.
all kind of music. And one thing about my music, none of the songs sound alike. Totally
So,
different.
so what was your journey? Well, how did you start your journey actually in music? We know that you started rapping, but professionally, what was your journey like?
Okay. When I left Ohio, I came to Atlanta. My mother was friends with the singer Jean Carn.
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with her or not. And her son, Joseph Carn, was producing. So him and I hooked up. And this was during the time, I'm going to tell y'all some stuff you might not even know right now. This one, we was over in the area called Ben Hill. Okay. We had a group
Hmm.
called the East Point Chain Gang. And at the time, we all recording. You had Ray Murray, Rico Wade, Cam, which is Gip. We was all in the group. Another brother by the name of Cool Breeze.
Hmm.
Okay. We was all in a group at that time called East Point Chain Gang. And we went, I want to get the story correct. We didn't fall out or anything like that, but I believe they wanted to go a different direction.
Hmm.
And Rico, Ray Murray started a group. I believe it was Outkast at the time with Dre and Big Boy,
Hmm.
and they got signed to at LaFace. I remember them going to L.A. Reid, and I think this is hearsay that Rico told L.A., "Hey, I know you're putting out a Christmas album. Let me put one song on that album, and if it hit, you sign us. If not, we walk away."
Hmm.
And you know what that song was?
What's that?
Players Ball.
Mm.
Okay. So I've been in the industry for a long time, man.
Hmm.
I've seen all the guys come up, man. Lil Jon, Jazzy Faye. I love these cats, man.
Right.
They're like my brothers.
Now, you played a lot of positions inside of music and also too with different businesses.
Hmm.
Can you speak to some of that?
As you far as being the CEO of my own company,
Yes, sir.
okay. I was signed to two independent labels back in the day. And just like a lot of artists, you get screwed over. But you get screwed over because you don't know the business.
Hmm.
And the first thing that I would tell an artist, remember, is the music business. You can have 10% talent. That other 90% is business
Hmm.
that you have to understand this business. And over all the years I've been in the music industry, a lot of people don't know that I was one of the founders of gospel hip hop. At one time, I did that for 15 years. But I've never been the type to subscribe to being a starving artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once I got married, had children, they came first.
Right.
So therefore, I took care of my family, did my work, stacked my paper. Now I'm at the age a lot of people don't know. Hell, I'm halfway to 60. And now my kids about grown. I can do what I love. And it's the music. But the
Now,
industry has changed tremendously.
I was speaking toward being featured on the television show Compromising Positions.
Oh man, compromising positions. Yeah, I do acting also.
Mm-hmm.
Compromising positions came about. A buddy of mine was shooting. This is during the time when I was in the gospel industry, and he called me up. He was like, "Hunter, man, I want you to play this pastor in this role." I'm like, "Man, you know, I ain't never acted before, but you know, I get a shot." And he sent me the script. I read for it. He said, "Bing, you got it." And I played a pastor that was counseling these two couples. It was marriage counseling. Okay. And young man, the woman wasn't ready, and the pastor had to pull the brother to the side, like, "Yo, man, she ain't the one." So it came off very well. And after that, I started doing scene study with Terry J. Vaughn. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her.
Of course.
Okay. I studied with Terry J. Vaughn for about year and a half. And she was like, "Hunter, you got it." She said, "But I can only take you so far." So I hooked up with a guy by the name of Dwayne Boyd. And I studied under him for about a year and a half. And after that, I went with Greg Allen Williams. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Greg Allen Williams, you ever see the movie, the show Greenleaf?
Yeah.
Okay. He was the uncle. Greg he was the guy, he played on Baywatch. Right. Remember the movie, Remember the Titans with Denzel Washington?
Yes. Of course.
Okay. The assistant coach.
Yeah.
That's Greg Allen Williams. That man took me to another level, man. He took my acting skills to another level. But he called me one day and invited me over to his house. And we was chatting. And he's like, "Well, Hunter, what are you going to do with this?" I said, "Well, Greg, I'm just getting my feet wet. I want to see how the industry works. But I want to end up doing my own thing." And that's what I'm doing now.
Now, what was it about acting that made you want to step in that direction?
I always wanted to act just to test the waters, to see how the industry worked, to see if it was like the music industry, which it is. But mainly, I wanted to get in there, see how it operates. So therefore, I can shoot my own movies and implement my music in my movies.
Well, have you started directing and producing movies?
I've started with my videos. And I have been writing treatments and scripts. And matter of fact, I'm working on some stuff as we speak.
Okay. So with your business now, is it mostly a multimedia company?
See, I have two businesses.
Mm-hmm.
By trade, I'm a certified diesel technician. I fix tractor trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that, having my own business, my own corporation since 2006. And I have daughters. So I can't leave that to them. They don't want to do that. One of my daughters, she loves music. That's why I started up HDH Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
This here, guys, isn't about me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is my legacy that I'm leaving. And my daughters is the reason why I'm doing this.
Now, when it came down to the music, when did you learn how to write music, not just raps, but actual song pieces?
First of all, I had to learn how to count. You'll be surprised at a lot of artists that don't know how to count as far as count the beat. But it just came naturally to me.
Mm-hmm.
I love music. It came naturally to me. And I'm thankful that I surrounded myself with older cats that was in the industry. You know, like I said, Gene Carn, Carlos Glover, all these cats, they taught me the music. And I just sat back and soaked it up, man. I was like a sponge. And I watched how they work. You know, from the time I started recording, man, we was recording on 2-inch reels called Apex.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're doing everything on computer. You know, back then you spending $150. It don't sound like money now, but back then that was a lot of money for a tape.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you can go back if you mess up. You have to take a razor, splice it, tape it back there. It was a lot of work. So it was no such thing as writing on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
You try to get that in one take. And when I watched them guys, that's what I saw. You got to get it right.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about how music has changed since you started. Far as, like you said, coming from the reels to now to the streaming. How has it honestly changed financially for the artists coming through? Because obviously you've seen it come from that point to where it is today. And do you think that it was better then or better now for the
Oh,
artists?
it was most definitely better then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because from physical CD sales or album sales or cassette sales, you know, the artist got a percentage off of that sale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The streaming nowadays, bro, we're giving our music away. We're giving it away.
We've had that conversation.
Only way today that I see that artists can make money, excuse me, off of their music is from doing shows or having merch. You know, something just came out last week from Spotify, you know, how you would get paid a percentage per stream.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're doing something, you got to get a certain amount of streams before they even pay you a percentage.
Right.
So definitely it was a lot better back in the day because, you know, when I started out, we was selling CDs out the trunk. So therefore, if you sell a CD hand to hand, $10, that's in your pocket, all of it. And you know, people, well, Hunter, you're independent artist. Well, am I really? Yeah, I'm doing my music. I'm producing everything. I'm executive producer of everything. But yet, I still have to go through avenues and formats dealing like Spotify, CD Baby, or whatever, which the major labels own.
So when you use what do you use as a distribution when it comes to your music? Do you use the DistroKid or something of that nature that will shoot your music to these different platforms for you?
Well, I've used DistroKid, and right now I'm on CD Baby.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't matter either or. You're gonna have to pay to promote anything, brother.
Hmm.
It's all about the money. You know,
Now,
you just can't put a song out there and think it's gonna start getting streams. Like they're gonna push your song. No, you got to pay for that.
hmm,
You just ain't gonna put a video up on YouTube and think people gonna go to it. No, you got to promote that.
hmm.
It is a business.
Now, I'm glad that you touched on that because a lot of times artists don't understand the reinvesting inside their own career when you have to promote and market your music. So, what are ways that you can do this that will be economically um, good for the artist?
Brother, that's a great question. And I'm still trying to figure it out because
Mm-hmm.
it's always changing.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to invest in yourself. You got to. If both of you cats from New York,
Mm-hmm.
you know it snow hella crazy up there in the wintertime.
Right.
You going down the road, you get stuck in the snow. If you're just sitting in the car,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is gonna keep passing by you. But if you get out and they see you trying to push that car, you notice help will come to you. When people
Yeah.
see you trying to help yourself, they're willing to help. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're not willing to help yourself, they're gonna just keep on moving by.
Right.
So, what would you say is the best course of action? Because back in the days, we all know word of mouth always carried the weight.
Yes.
So, is word of mouth still the best avenue approach in this digital world? Because most of the times people ain't talking; they too busy texting and
Yes.
typing and stuff. So, word of mouth is now a digital aspect. So, how can we say promote the best way in this tone in this day and age of the streaming, digital and streaming world?
Well, you still have to go through those powers that be. And when I say that, I'm talking about the YouTubes, the Google ads, um, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You just have to keep going. That's the new way of music nowadays. It's not back in the day. Remember, we could do a poster and put them up all around the barrels and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and people see them on the light poles. That's gone, man. And then with all this social media stuff, people's attention span is like that. You know, sometimes I ask myself, is it really worth it to shoot a 3-minute video
Mm-hmm.
with production and all of that, lights and all that? Because people's attention span won't last 3 minutes. They're so used to these 30, 45-second clips and they move on.
Hmm.
So
Now,
go ahead.
not to cut you off, but understanding the business part of music, understanding mechanical rights and royalty spins and live performance royalties,
Hmm.
and these are the things that was taught to artists back in the day.
Correct.
Now there is no grooming of the artist because of they're able to go just shoot their music to SoundCloud and not understand the business part of it. Could you speak to how necessary it is to learn all aspects of the music, you know what I'm saying, so you can put your music out and you can get the best out of it?
You're speaking on artist development.
Yes, sir.
there is no more artist development. Like you said, a person can go down the street, shoot a video, put it up out there on the internet. You know, people back then, I was always taught, own your masters, own your publishing. If you do give a percentage of it away, only give them 49%, because you'll still hold the majority of it. And if they want to do something with theirs, they've got to contact you.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way the old heads used to sit down and tell us and talk to us. And I try to talk to young men. Like I say, the music is totally different. You know, it's hip hop, it evolves. It might not be some of the stuff that I would listen to, but I don't knock it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like when we was coming up, when our mother or grandparents heard what we was listening to, they somehow, that was a mess, you know? And just like now, we're up in age, we listen to what our kids are listening to. We can't listen to a lot of it. We're feeling the same way.
Mm.
But we can't knock that, because music is an art. And right now, what this young generation is doing is their art. But only thing that I can say is causing a lot of detriment, because being a rapper today is a dangerous occupation.
Right. Right.
You know, but
Now,
it goes deeper than that, though.
now we talk about, you know, rap, the art form itself of rapping, and how things have changed. But in your music, you strive to keep it positive.
Correct.
You try to keep the music positive. How do you feel that the positive hip hop have become the new underground in the hip hop genre?
Well, see, you from New York, you're a hip hop head. I think you'll understand when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the late 80s, you know, we had KRS-One, and other artists that was really kicking that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fight the power. And they were underground. They really wasn't getting no radio play. But somebody said, oh no, we got to stop this. And what was the next group that came out? And I love these brothers dearly. I know them personally. NWA.
Mm-hmm.
They started pushing that towards what they call gangster rap. And look what the black, well, the young men, yeah, I'm going to say it, black young men, all gravitated towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And look at our young men today.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to take it a little further into present time. Look at the female rappers. Back then, we had Queen Latifah.
Mm-hmm.
And MC Light. But look at the women today. They came out with who first? Lil' Kim. And from Lil' Kim, look at the female artists today, what they're talking about and what they're promoting. So now that's attacking our young women. I don't care what nobody say. Music is very influential.
Mm-hmm.
If music wasn't influential, if advertisement wasn't influential, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't put on the TV a commercial about McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Or different things of advertising. It's very influential. But
now,
I'm at the point, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Now, when you talk about the different periods in the golden era of hip hop and the KRS ones and the fight the power movements that were going on, and then you moved into the jazzmatazz and the
Right.
gangster rap, and then you started getting the R&B and hip hop, and then it went to another full circle, went back into like quasi gangster
Mm-hmm.
and bubblegum rap, and now you have a murder culture that was that has destroyed our young men from hip hop, and now you have the whore culture that's coming in to destroy the young ladies. Do you feel like that these type of things were implemented for a specific reason?
Hell yeah. Yes, I do. I do. You know, I heard my brother Cube say, I don't know if how true it is or not, but he was saying the majority of the people that own the record label own the jails.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's
I didn't
interesting.
realize until I got my first contract, there's a clause in there that they take out life insurance on you.
Hmm.
And it doesn't go to your family, it goes to the label. And I just want to enlighten people.
Hmm.
It ain't about the fame with me, bro. Like I say, if you like my music, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I put music out there. When I lay down at night, I can sleep peacefully.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to reach and teach. You know, I'm an OG in the game.
Hmm.
You know, when we was kids out on the block, we knew who the hustlers and the dealers was and everything like that. Yeah, we looked up to them, but what did they take? No, you go to school.
Right.
You stay in school. They never pushed that lifestyle upon us. If you went that way, it was because you chose to go that way.
Hmm.
So I'm here to just try to enlighten them.
You know, I want to ask you this because you mentioned about you having daughters, and
Mm-hmm.
one particular you said is interested into the entertainment business and the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like yourself, are you breaking it down to her the whole mechanics of the business side
Yes.
as well as for
Yes.
enjoyment? Because when you're talking about contracts and you're talking about giving your soul in certain
Mm-hmm.
ways, signing your soul to the devil's establishment without having the
Mm-hmm.
understanding of it, are you breaking it down to in the same way that it was taught to you?
All the way, even when it comes down to sex,
Hmm.
they will try to use you. I don't hide nothing. I would be doing my daughters disservice if I didn't tell them what I knew
Hmm.
because I got more years behind me than I do ahead of me.
Now,
And what good is it to them if I take this knowledge to the grave?
Absolutely.
that's true, absolutely. Now, what? How can we shift the polarity when it comes down to the music? How can we get it back to the edutainment? Because basically, that's what we're talking about here is edutainment, educating individuals through the music. How can we get that back?
Brother, I have been beating my head for years trying to figure out that question. How can we take our music back? How can we take control of it? And I'm a man to say, if I don't know, I don't know. Brother, I can't answer that question because I'm still trying to figure it out.
I noticed that when the music, if you ever traveled anywhere in the country, the music sounds the same on the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Each area do have their signature sound or signature music that is played, but for the most part, everywhere you go, the same music is played. And that is because it is monopolized by the big company that has bought most of the media.
It's called programming.
Of course.
It's called
And
programming.
and with that, we try to control. They try to program you, and they don't allow you to have connections with the program managers and things of that nature. Because, like you stated, when we were kids, we had our own music.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents had their own music.
Right.
Now, the mother and father dances to the kids' music. You know, we used to look up to our parents, and they played the
Right.
OJs and the Isley Brothers and the Marvin Gayes and things of that nature.
Temptations. Yeah.
That was their music.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to parties, we was listening to Stetsasonic,
Yeah.
the Supreme Team, you know, Run DMC. That was our music.
Right.
So we always had a separation. But now that we don't have that separation, everyone is listening to the same music, everyone's doing the same dances. And I feel like it's a mind control thing.
Programming.
Hmm.
It's programming, bro. And I honestly have sat down with my daughters and like we'll take a ride. I said, okay, I want to listen to what y'all listen to.
Mhm.
Show me what y'all listen to in y'all phone. And I'm listening to it. And that's one thing I love about my girls. They're well-rounded when it comes to music
Hmm.
because they listen to what me and their mother listen to. We listen to what they listen to.
Hmm.
And they love the Isley Brothers.
Mhm.
They love Al Green. A lot of kids now, let me tell you something, man. I had to do a show. This, I don't know if it hurt me or made me feel that I'm getting old. I had to do a show with Keith Sweat one time, right? And I was excited.
Hmm.
And I told my little brother, he's a lot younger than me, but we were about 20 years different. I said, hey, man, I got a show with Keith Sweat. He said, who is Keith Sweat? Bruh, it hurt me. It was like a hit. I mean, it was a blow, bruh. I ain't gonna
Hmm.
lie, it was really a blow. But we're disconnected, man.
Well, that was by design.
Yeah.
That was by design. Number one, to allude or to make an illusion of something given to pull them away from what was right and exact. In order to, like you said, we're talking about control,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about mind manipulation, we're talking about taking from the poor so that they can maintain their luxury. That's what we're really talking about is the general wealth from taking what was been created in a natural state and
Mm-hmm.
flipping it and claiming it as your own to say we created this when you know you didn't, but you have the resources and
Uh-huh.
power to put it out there in any shape, form, or fashion towards you. But when we stood up for ourselves in the conscious state of hip hop back then, there had to be a 6 degree of separation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it had to be as what they doing into the temples, whitewashing it down to turn history into their history when it's not. We know what our history truly is, but they have that control. So when you said you don't know how can we get our music back or the control back,
Mm-hmm.
it's when we start thinking and bringing minds to one cause for a stronger effect. But as long as we allow others to come in and stray us away from what our true goal is, we're always going to have that problem.
Well, that is true. I have a song called Nubian Woman, and it's telling the woman, we're sorry that we hurt you. But you got to remember, we've been hurt too. Okay. You kick the black man out the house and allow the government to come in and say they'll provide. Where's the black man in the household?
Mm-hmm.
They put them out. Look at the women nowadays. Get offended when a man say, "What you bringing to the table?" I saw something the other day on social media that blew me away. Young guy was taking a young lady on a date, and he took her to Cheesecake Factory, and she felt Cheesecake Factory was beneath her. What's going on with our women and our men? Now, I got to ask you, brother, some questions. The state that our young brothers and sisters in, and I want you to be honest, we had, even if we didn't have a father in our lives, we had uncles or grandfather or Johnny's father around the block that instilled things in us and kept us on that right path when they saw us straying away. But did we do that? Did we reach back?
Okay, you want to take it first, or you want me to rock with it?
Well,
run with it.
When you say, did we reach back?
Did we do our part as men?
Well, I can say in our generation, because I believe you and me are along the same line of lineage, age-wise.
Okay.
So I know the teachings of my father and my uncles, and not just them, but the OGs that we looked up to on the block when we was out there.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that would instill us, take your behinds in the house at a certain time.
Right.
Understanding what you do. Now, the teachings and values that we had then, we instilled to our generation of children now.
Okay.
But where did the failure part come in? Like you said earlier, when you separate the man from the family, you take away the foundation and you put him into a situation where he feels less than himself, then you start to make him other than himself mentally.
I love talking to you, brothers. Y'all deep. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead now. Come on now. Preach, brother. Go ahead.
Take that poison that you implanted into that person and you plant him in different spectrums around or seeds. But when you put him in other plants or plantations, you spread that negativity around, and that becomes instilled or seeded into the next generation of babies to come that don't have that foundation that truly once was, because now they're looking at what is and going off of there and thinking that being other than who you are is okay. I was not meant to be. I was born this way when you know you weren't. You were taught to be other than who you originally. You see, so the tricknology has been a key factor in every aspect of life.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because we don't know self.
Exactly.
Now,
all we know is what they say that we are.
What's interesting is the problem is, truthfully, the problem is we as men and women, we are at war with one another. We allowed the devil to come amongst us and separate man and woman. Once you did that, once that happens, then that destroys the foundation in the family. It's not about, you know what I'm saying, this teaching and this teaching. When you can't unite your family, and that's man and woman, to raise your children, That's the issue. I don't care if this person is a mentor, this person is a mentor. When you go back home into that dysfunction and that broken home, then that's something that feeds into the child. We
Of
never
course.
realize that everything that we do as parents is a blueprint for our children.
Mm. Brother, you just hit on something. I've been married going on 22 years.
Hmm.
And my wife and I was sitting down talking one day. And I said, baby, as a young man, you know, my granddaddy, my uncles, they always taught us this is how you treat a lady.
Hmm.
You open the door, you bring fire. This is how you treat a lady. I said, when you were coming up as a girl, did your mother ever talk to you on how to treat a man?
Right.
Said no. I said, there you go. You don't know how to treat a man.
Hmm.
See, you're treating a man on how you think he should be treated instead of listening to that man and hearing him say, this is what I like.
Hmm.
But a lot of women today don't know how to treat a man.
You know, it's interesting you said that because growing up, when you have children, you have a son and a daughter in the house,
Mm-hmm.
right? You raising your daughter to be a wife and a mother. You raising your son to be a player, an athlete, everything else but to be a husband.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard to give a man something when he don't even know what he needs.
See, that's when you have to check them
You know what I mean?
because
But you can't check him
he
until
can't.
he understand that point.
No,
He
I'm
don't.
not talking about him or her.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about the spouse. You know
Uh-huh.
how when we were coming up, and I'm gonna give you two prime examples how messed up this is. My younger brother, we raised him until he was out of high school, right? And he
Uh-huh.
was no more than probably in the eighth grade at the time. And you know how you would say, how many girlfriends you got?
Uh-huh.
You know, my wife said that. And I said, why would you ask him that? Would you say the same thing to your daughter? How many
Right.
boyfriends you got?
Right.
Now, just for example, like we had a family cookout, something like that. And one of the older ladies see a young guy say, woo boy, if I were 10 years younger. Everybody laugh.
Uh-huh.
But let a
Uh-huh.
man do the same thing to a young girl.
It's a whole different attitude.
It's totally different. Totally different. We are really disconnected.
Um, I hate to cut you, OG man. You know, an hour done went by that quick.
That's fine.
Um,
Keep going.
hey, that's it right there. Uh, but I hate that we didn't get a chance to play the music like we wanted to. But the conversation was so deep and impactful that we have to reschedule to come back on so we can finish this
Hey,
up,
that's
man.
fine, bro. Hey, the music is nothing but the vessel
Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
to
And
bring this here.
and I just want to thank you for coming on. And I want to thank all that was watching and tuning in and sharing and liking. Make sure that y'all tune in tomorrow when we have Rico C. Definitely, we're gonna lock in tomorrow. But this was a definitely impactful show. I hope that y'all took away some things, some jewels from this show today, because just like we said, music and media is seeds that are planted in the mind, and once we are able to water it, then things will grow. Let's start growing the positive energy, the positive trees, the positive lyrics out. So, big bro, you know what time it is, man.
Yeah, but before we do go, OG Sweets, please just let the people know how can they reach you, get your music, and if they want to have a conversation with you, such as like this,
Well,
because knowledge is power.
I'm on all the music platforms. OG Sweets, SWEETZ, because I'm one of the last.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to my webpage, ogsweets.com.
Mm-hmm.
IG, Sweets, ATLOG, and all my stuff is linked. And please check out my new single I just dropped last week. It's called Blindfolds. It's time to take off our blindfolds. Please repeat that. D. And brothers, thank you guys for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Don't go nowhere. Just hold tight. Hold tight for 2 minutes in the after party. We're gonna end this right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in to Real to Real 360. As always, stay peace, stay mental, stay strong. And on behalf of my co-host with the most, my brother in God, Joshua Allah, aka Mr. PhD, I am DJ K Wise. Our special guest brother, OG Sweets. You have a home right here, family. You ain't got a home away from home. You got a home right here. So, like we said, we're gonna bring you back. But if there's anything that we can do in the meantime, in between time, don't hesitate to call. All right, everybody, listen, we are out of here like last year. We'll holler at you then. Peace.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we starting to come to the end of the show. Right now, I want to take the time out and thank our guests for coming on. Also, too, we want to make sure that y'all listening and subscribing, and tell a friend and keep sharing, because we're going to keep bringing y'all the real content. You know what I mean? So, DJ K Wise, my brother, take us up out of here, son. Peace.
I want to give a big shout out to the nation of gods and earths, to all the human families on the planet Earth. I say peace. But to our subscribers, those who continue to watch and listen to the show each and every time we come on, I give a big shout out of love, peace, and happiness to you. To peace, the man, woman, and child of the you and I verse. It's time for us to disperse. We bring the best, not the worst. We thank you once again for tuning in to the Real 360. Bring a friend to hit that like and subscribe, so we continue to grow to bring more knowledge and wisdom to you. Upon our show, you make it possible for us to do what we do. Now